Welcome back to Broken Bobby's Transformation Page. Today I have a story about non-designated yards, also 50-50, known as 50-50 yards. So if you are new to the channel, hit me with a subscribe, drop a comment, smash that like button, and share this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, I got to hit you with the flag. I got my football stuff on. It's that time of year. I love football. So don't miss out. Subscribe to the channel and give me a chance. Don't cost anything, and if you don't like it, your money's back. So let's get into the story today. We're talking about non-designated yards, which is becoming more and more of a thing in the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. When I was doing my time back then, there were a few yards that were considered no good to the woodpile. And basically, those were like CMC, and there was a yard or two at Chino that we weren't allowed to go to. I think Wasco, I want to say D yard, but I'm not 100% on that one. But there were a couple places that we couldn't go. And see, the thing about non-designated yards is it's not necessarily an SNY yard. For my group, that's what it's considered. And if you land on one of those yards, you have 72 hours to get out of there. Now, if you knew you were transpacking and heading to one of these facilities, our policy was that you can't say that I can't go program on that yard. You get transferred there, and then you have 72 yards to get out of there. And the only way to get out of there is to create's the wrong word, is to basically get off on somebody. And you basically jump on somebody and start whooping their ass until the guard removes you. And then, the guards know what time it is. They know this stuff happens. So, that was kind of the policy. The thing is, if you end up on one of these yards where we're not allowed to be, then, you stay there and you program, then you're considered a piece of shit amongst your collective. Now, like I said, the thing is, these aren't SNY yards per se. And what an SNY yard, if you don't know, is the sensitive needs yard. According to the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, what a sensitive need yard is it's a place where they send inmates who would have acts of violence committed on them on a general population yard. Or could be someone with funny crimes against minors, those R charges, if you know what I'm saying, forcing yourself on a female, different things like that. So, now the thing about these yards is there are some groups that can program on these yards, and they're not looked at any differently. These yards that I had mentioned already, if you do decide to stay and program, you better hope you're paroling from there, because when you get transferred and you arrive at your next facility, they're going to want to see your paperwork, and your paperwork is going to say where you're coming from and, why you were transferred. It could be for no reason transfer, but you end up on an active GP yard, you're going to have something coming because basically you are no longer considered active. You chose to program amongst these people that we defined as no good, and now you got something coming. So there are groups that program on these yards, and a good example of that is the Bulldogs. If you don't know about the Bulldogs, they're out of Fresno. They're not north. They're not south. They're their own entity. And man, these guys are riders. You know, I hear the CDCR has been trying to integrate them into main lines, and it's not going well. So, but you know, the Bulldogs ain't no punks. They come out, they get off, they do what they're supposed to do. So, and there's other groups that, you know, are on these 50-50 yards, and they're not considered no good. It's just the politics of that particular group. So, like I said, there was a few back when I was doing time that, you know, we weren't allowed to go to. As I understand it now, most of the 1 and 2 yards are all 50-50 yards at this point. So think about that. You end up in prison for some minor crime with low points, going home in a year. Like they drop you on a 1 yard, you got to get off. You're going to get a 115, and then your points are going to go up, so they're going to put you on a 2 yard, and you got to do the same thing. Another 115, your points are going to go up. Now you're a disruptive individual in their eyes. And now that little 1 year sentence is probably going to become more, just to get yourself to a 3 yard where you can program. So the game is twisted, guys, but that's what it is now. So like I said, I know they were trying to move some groups of Bulldogs into certain pins that were 4 yards, and it's just not going to happen. So, you know, maybe some of the 3 yards they might be able to flip, some of the softer ones, but Superactive GP, where, you know, there's heavy hitters and associates of the heavy hitters, is not going to go down in the 4 yards. I just don't see it. You know, the thing about a level 4 yard in California is you have a lot of people that are doing 10, 20, 30 life. And, you know, even though some of them are making parole now, some of the lifers, you know, they don't got a lot to lose. So, you know, you try to mix up the program, like they're coming with pieces. And, yeah, it's not going to be good. It's putting people's loved ones at jeopardy. But this is the mentality of the GP population. You know, we're not going to program with these people. And, you know, that's just what it's going to be. So, a couple of the facilities that are now all 50-50 according to CDCR's website are Avenal Healthcare Facility, CRC Norco, that used to be the SAP program, the drug program down there, California Medical Facility, Chuckawalla Valley, San Quentin, and Valley State Prison are all on CDCR's list as all 50-50. So if you've been in recently and you know something different, drop a comment and let me know. But that, according to CDCR, that's what it is with that. So, yeah, it's messed up in there. But, you know, if you are running around partying, doing things that active people do, you're going to end up in one of these places, and this is going to be your life. And, you know, on the streets, you might be able to run away from problems. There ain't nowhere to run in there. You end up behind the wall. There ain't nowhere to go. You have to face your problems head on, and that's it, period. So, you know, it's a mess, but it is what it is. And, you know, one of the reasons I tell these stories is if somebody thinks that they're predestined to go to prison like I did, you're not. You know, you don't need to add that piece to your resume. You need to put a resume together or go to school and find yourself a decent job and, you know, settle down and enjoy life. because life is pretty good. So, anyways, if you are new to the channel, I have playlist. I have my videos broken down into playlists. War stories, fitness, family, which are it's the cornerstone of my channel, family, fitness, and freedom, which is what has allowed me to be out for going on 18 years now. So, it is possible to break the chain of recidivism, but you have to make some changes and you have to be willing to do that. So, anyways, check out my playlist if you want to see some more of my stuff. And like I said, it's all broken down into categories. I am going to be putting up a video on reading labels and nutrition as a fitness video. If that's not your sort of thing and that's not what you're here for, completely understand that. Maybe you might want to skip that one. But I'm going to try to get that up here sometime later on today. And I'm going to be focusing on trying to do shorts during the week because, my work schedule, I'm at work most of the week. And it seems like every time I'm driving to work, I have all these amazing thoughts in my head of what would make a good story. So I'm going to try to do some shorts to, keep the content flowing. So, that's what I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it detoured some of you from making some bad decisions and going down the route I went down. Life is short. We should try to enjoy it. Don't look at the mountain. Just start climbing.